And welcome back for part 2 of the Battle of Iwo Jima in a battleship on Let's Play Battlefield 1942. My instinct at this point is very much to just get in one of the landing craft, spawn in probably as a medic, as I almost always do, and attack one of the flags, try to rack up a bunch of points. However, I'm not going to do that today because this is a special episode, and there have been some viewers, I think, who have questioned whether my zeal for racking up lots of points and getting gold medals has kind of led me to neglect some of the finer points of this game and not show off as much variety. So on this episode, I will not be giving into the temptation to attack flags. Instead, I will be continually showing off this interesting battleship. You know, looks like a friendly plane tried to bomb me. Anyways, so I promise on my internet honor that I will not achieve a gold medal on this round. I want to show at least one round where I dedicate myself. Wow, like 2 team kills there. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, it's very tricky to attack a flag that your team is attacking with infantry, because there's such a potential for team kills there, and that's part of the reason why I'm definitely not going to be getting a gold medal on this round. Alright, so we're going to be down to Mount Suribachi here. And although I can just barely see it in the distance, and I'm in the second group of cannon over here, you can get a pretty decent angle. But what is that? Okay, there's a bunch of explosion noises in the background, and that seems to be that enemy I was mentioning earlier who boarded the ship. I'm pretty sure that he's at one of the ammo crates and he's throwing grenades at the ship. That does 0 damage, by the way. You can't use X-Packs or any other infantry weapons, and I seem to have beached the ship somehow. I had thought that, yeah, he's probably down there somewhere, but since he's not a threat to me or anyone else, I'm not going to bother with him. You can get a really good angle on Mount Suribachi on the platform that leads down, the path that leads down from the mountain. You're guaranteed that if they're down to that flag, they're going to be sending infantry down that one path. So you just get a good spread of cannon fire across that path, and you're bound to hit some people. At the very least, the battleship is very good at being a deterrent force. Kind of like how the snipers, just their presence keeps people off of mounted machine guns. The battleship's cannon can be used to make enemy infantry nervous about going out from cover, which, you know, reduces their mobility and they can't attack from the flag. And I'm amazed I haven't team killed even more people attacking that mountain, because I know that friendly infantry are headed up that same path. Alright, that was a scout with the binoculars. I'm just showing off a little artillery thing. You get a slightly better view. You just right-click when you're on the cannon, and it'll show you the view that the binoculars show. The sniper may be pretty far from where he wanted to have artillery, or it could just be the way the binoculars are set up. But as you can see, it's not really that much of an improvement. Just eyeballing it is what you're mostly going to be doing anyway. On the map, there's kind of a slight outline. You can't really see it here, but around the island there's usually an outline that kind of shows you with lighter colored water where the shallows are, and I had stayed well clear of that because I know if you try to pilot a ship over that, it'll beach the ship. But I think that the battleships may require you to be even further away from that than the destroyer. I'm more used to the destroyers, how you just kind of stay just outside of the shallow water and you're fine. So I'm almost tempted to move the battleship over toward the back of the airfield flag and provide a good spawning platform. Probably wouldn't get very good aim on the control point without the sniper's binoculars. But I'm stuck. I'm definitely not able to move the ship, which is just as well because the Japanese do have Mount Suribachi, and the battleship can be useful against that anyway. Just a note for those who are watching the chat, time to die is trying to get someone banned who was glitching earlier in the previous map, I think. And iTax, the guy he was chatting with, is one of the administrators for this server. So the administrators, when they're present, they can do a good job of watching out for people doing various annoying things, including cheating, and they can ban or permaban or whatever. But servers usually have an automatic script that will ban people automatically for team killing or sometimes excessive cursing and various other things. Alright, looks like I've got another helper on the ship who's going to be using the other cannon. Just for those of you who are curious about the historic battles that I'm playing, generally speaking, Battlefield 1942 doesn't try to be too accurate. Usually with the Pacific maps, they try to make the shape of the island at least in accordance with the shape of the actual island. I spawned as an engineer, by the way, just so I could repair the ship when need be. I probably should have repaired earlier. When I was taking damage from those def guns and planes, but I got kind of complacent. The island itself, however, is not really designed to be similar to the island of Iwo Jima. Obviously, they've got the airfield and they've got the mountain. But Iwo Jima is a volcanic island, and the sands of Iwo Jima are famous for being black sands. They're volcanic sands, which are very hot, and the soldiers who dug in trying to make trenches in those sands sometimes got burned by the heat. And Iwo Jima was also very famous for having hundreds and hundreds of caves and miles of tunnels all around. And the Iwo Jima that we see on Battlefield 1942, of course, has regular looking sand, the same palette that they use on the other Pacific maps. And there are 0 caves and 0 tunnels. They may try, I think they have the capacity at least, to try to make the... Whoops. Well, I killed the enemy infantry there, and team killed. And I think I got sniped by somebody. But anyways, they have the capacity to make the island more of a jungle because they can put as many trees as they want, and same for Guadalcanal. But of course that would require a lot of extra RAM, a lot of memory, and it would really slow down the processing. So they probably tested it out and then dialed back on the trees. So none of the tropical areas look overly tropical, although one of the last maps that they did, the invasion of the Philippines, looks more jungle-like. Now the battleship's really running low on health here, and if I'd been more careful about repairing the ship and watching out for the def guns, I probably could have kept it healthier and kept the ship alive for longer. But since I didn't do that, they've kind of steadily ground away at the health of the ship. And once this battleship sinks, it's going to take a long time for it to respawn. And when I die, it'll probably take me a long time to respawn too, because all the team kills I racked up. But overall, the Americans have done a really good job on this, just getting a flag very early on. That guy who captured Mount Suribachi to stop the bleeding, that was extremely useful for us. And just keeping the Japanese trapped on some of these middle points while shelling them with the battleship really ground away their tickets as well. Stay tuned for part 3.